Hey chaps, welcome to episode 32 of Nemcast, and today we're joined by Sax from Slaughter Inc. and Baby Jord from Tropic Thunder. And yes, I'm calling him Baby Jord.
Oh, thank you.
Friend. Anyway, we're going to get this brief ad break out of the way and we'll be right back. Cheers chaps. Hey folks, hope you're well. As you can probably tell, Kingdom Clash 2 is a thing. It's coming next year, so you can check in the link down below for the booking link. Also, there'll be a link and the QR code going up on screen shortly to join the WhatsApp community. Now, the WhatsApp community is there so you can see the updates on the event as things go. Any questions, queries, you can put them in there. And obviously, if you don't want to go in the community, you can DM me directly, but I highly recommend you join it. Now, that community is there, so once you've also joined and we're at the event, all the information on top of that is going in there as well. So if you're confused about what the next game is, that sort of thing, you'll be able to find that in there. So that being that, I look forward to seeing you all at Kingdom Clash 2. And don't forget to follow us, like and subscribe, all that sort of thing for more updates. The next podcast we're bringing out is with me and BT. We're going to be going over all the plans for the event, everything that's going on, what to expect, gameplay, etc. So that being that, I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers, chaps. And we're back. So, as you can probably tell by the advert, we are doing Kingdom Clash next year. Hope to see you all there. Now, let's get on to the first subject of the day. Current state of Airsoft. This is the sites and what we think of them. So you've been to a few different sites this year. What? Let me know your thoughts. Where have you been?
Many.
Kick it off.
Yeah, God, many. You could start reeling them off. It's funny how immediately as you ask the question, you forget every site that you've ever played. So we've done Skirmish, we've done Gloucester Prison, 6 Mil, HQ, Warzone,
Goal.
The Goal, many sites this year, and the general consensus that I'm picking up is that as sites close and these sites get more heavily populated, there's sort of a yearning in the community for those sites to be a little bit more. But I think more so, the general attitude of Airsoft seems to... I've been doing it 12 years, and in the 12 years, it's never been as cult and clicky as it becomes now. And as the sites disappear, those cults and cliques have to interact. And I just think as a community, it's getting real difficult for people to like.
Yeah, meshing. Certain sites are going to be different.
Definitely.
I mean, I've been to my old local MIA, which is Matlock. That's a nice chill site. It's not really a click. Optac's quite welcoming, but I've not been to many other sites myself this year, just because I've not had a chance. So, obviously, we've already reviewed places like Skirmish and whatnot. They're a good site to go check out. What's 6 Mil like?
Bloody
fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, it's more local. You about, what, 30 minutes?
30, 40 minutes.
30.
So, to be fair, I'm in the middle of like 3 different sites where I am.
Yeah,
so
you are quite lucky.
It's one of the locals for me as well.
So 6 Mil, I've been playing at 6 Mil now on and off for 10 years. I was there before Joe had it when it was Stormforce Airsoft, and then Joe took it over, the current now owner, and it became 6 Mil. And in the 3 years I think Joe's had it now, oh god, one of the best sites in the Midlands,
100%.
if not England, by top 5 in any list should be. It's well run, it's clean, the staff are fantastic, Joe's tremendously helpful, the price for what it is really good, the games are written fantastically well. It's a big enough site to where you can play a 2-hour game in the morning, and that 2 hours gives you a chance to, you might have a really shit encounter, or a poor encounter rather. There's enough time in that morning game for you to then move to a totally different area and have another great encounter. It's such a lovely site and so well maintained that you don't feel it's a hardship to get anywhere, but you can also go and fight in places that will challenge you physically.
Now, in regards to like acreage, how big would you say the site is?
About 50 acres.
Yeah, I'd probably say.
So it's not the biggest site then?
No,
it's not massive,
but
very well
it
utilised.
feels bigger than it is when you're in it, basically.
There's a lot of verticality built in.
So what are your opinions on the site? What's the terrain like and whatnot?
It is a bit steep. There is a couple of flat areas, like where all the buildings are set out, but you've got a massive like hilltop road down to the fuel depot, and it is like a 45-degree hill.
Yeah, everything.
You know, your legs are feeling it by the end of the hill.
So more comparable to like the train at Optac, would you say?
Yes, very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Very similar.
Like,
I'd say
it's like setting a bowl kind of thing.
Not quite set in a bowl. It's more. There's lots of valleys.
3 peaks.
Yeah, 3 different peaks in there.
Yeah, and in between the peaks, you've then got like all your objective buildings and like crash planes and Land Rovers and field depots. It
comms,
like
uplink centres.
So, no, it wouldn't be a Nemcast if we didn't do a toilet review. What the bog's like.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the cleanest toilets I've ever seen at an airsoft site.
For those who know Skirmish Airsoft, you know Skirmish. Their bogs are fairly decent. Not
pretty good.
Not porter shitters as such. What's it like in comparison?
So, he's got the men's private pistol range, which is essentially the urinals. They're fantastic, well maintained. Always got fresh cakes in, and we like fresh cakes here.
We do.
Very lemony. A little bit tangy though, we'll say. A little bit tangy on the tongue.
You just put them in your thing for later.
Oh, saving?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What if they get
in your little nugget pocket?
Little nugget pockets.
Yeah. Refreshing.
So he's got the private pistol range, and then he's got a Portaloo on site. But that Portaloo's cleaned 3 times a day?
I'd say so. I've never seen it dirty.
No, ever, not once. And I think that goes for, because it's so well maintained, people that come to the site, even new players, see that, and then there's sort of an expectation to maintain a certain level of cleanliness. People aren't going in there and pissing all over the thing, you know what I mean? Which you do find at some sites.
100%.
It's the public toilet fallacy, isn't it? Every public toilet's always shit because it's not yours. It's always ill looked after. You often run into that at a lot of sites, especially the Portaloos, things like that. They're always a bit gipping, for lack of a better term. Sorry, I've got a cold, by the way, if I sound a bit bunged up.
But I mean, out of 10 for toilets, like, you know, how many vanishes are you going to give it out of 10?
Good 9.5.
Good 9.5. Good 9.
Yeah.
I'd say 9 vanishes out of 10.
So we're saying good toilets. The site itself sounds good in a bowl. Well, and now the key is, this is something we want to get on to, because obviously, as we're all painfully aware, the budget's coming out in December. Things are going to go up in price, everything like that. We've got to start supporting the sites we like, but what can sites do in order to get more customers, improve, things like that? Now, Optac springs to mind. They're always doing a few new builds. They're always getting new vehicles in bits and bobs. 6 mil sound like they reinvest a lot.
Yeah, 100, yeah.
I mean, well, last year Joe did a Facebook Live, and on that live he disclosed the finances of the site, and he put over £100,000 back into that.
Yeah,
in that 12 months.
Site,
I mean, that is some serious reinvestment into a site. You know what I mean?
In 12 months.
Yeah, in 12 months.
And he's had it what?
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years.
Now, let's look at this like you've got a small airsoft site that doesn't have that sort of finance to put into it. What can you do? Now, in my mind, I'd be asking the regulars, the locals, if they want to come up and do a build day. Maybe you could do, give them a free game day, something like that. Get them to come up, get pallets, anything, sandbags, all sorts of things. And you can improve the site that way. Just get on top of it on the cleaning side of it. Again, safe zone's an important one. If you've got dry areas, make them better. Just go out your way to improve now and sort of speculate to accumulate. Think of it that way.
Definitely.
Now, from a player perspective, what would you advise people do to help local sites? Or would you... Because I've got it in my mind now where if you think your local site refuses to reinvest and it's stagnating, because it is becoming a problem across some sites in the UK...
Well,
do you change sites? Is now the time
I've
to
got
start
a
looking at
very
other sites?
perfect example. So I used to play at Phoenix Airsoft quite religiously, and it's a good site. It's okay. It is large. There's a lot going on, but there wasn't much progress. Like
Nothing new.
So for the 2 years that I played there, it was the same. Nothing changed. So I went on an event that was being hosted at Optac with my friend Doug. And I actually ran into Jackson there the first time I ever met him.
Second time you ever met me?
First time you acknowledged me.
Yeah, first time I registered you as a human being.
Yeah, the second time you just walked past me like DJ Shipley and ignored me because you were too hot boy.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I did think I used to be hot shit.
Not interested in this guy, I'm too cool for him type.
It wasn't that.
It was. It was. But no, I started playing at Optac.
It just opened your eyes, didn't it?
It was just fresh. It was new. It was a new experience. And from meeting Jackson then, on that event day, I offered to help him, part of the build crew, and develop the site. And we built, the mortar pits.
I did lots of site maintenance.
Yeah, and the checkpoint, new building there. And we just did general maintenance and
it's
building.
Something as a player, it's something as simple as there's a lot of people that play airsoft that are tradies that are carpenters that do tree surgery that bricklayers, builders, anything like that. But even if you're not any of those, you don't have a trade that you can perceive would add value to it, right? It never hurts to just say to the site owner, look, if you organise a clean-up day, we'll come and we'll just do edge cutting, or we'll maintain the paths, or cut paths through the roadies, or get down all the deadfall trees and stuff, just to neaten up the site. Yeah. Just that, to an owner, can be invaluable, and then really the onus is on the owner to whether they take you up on that offer or not.
But you don't do it to expect something from it.
That's
never do that.
No.
Yeah, the trick, you don't go into it to make money. We're in a hobby industry, and you've got to treat it as such. There's going to be... In most business, you can have multiple fingers in pies, and everyone can make a bit of money, but when it's a hobby industry like this, there's just not enough for the pie to go round. You've got to keep the business owner in mind, and if you can afford to spend a day to go up there... I mean, I've taken Logan up there, my son. I've taken him up there before, and we've done bits just to help. Even if it's a filming day, because obviously John Bearded BB, he does all the filming for the events.
All the trailers and stuff, yeah.
And if he says, look, we need some people to go up and help do filming, we all jump up and go up there, and my lad will just run around and play for the day. He can be entertained because he's playing in the woods, he's happy.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So just make the most of it.
So just to disclose clearly, my relationship with Optac, as far as the building is concerned, was that for a period of time I was the head of building there, and then unfortunately that had to sort of get put to one side because I started my own thing with Slaughter Inc. But at the time that was going on, when Jordan was talking about it and he came and helped me, at that time what I did was, anybody that offered to come and help me, or offered to come and help the site, I would take their number and I would take any relevant skills down, and then I would give them a call and say, we're going to do a build day on such and such a day. I'd get them there, and then I would have them on that day, more so to just watch them and see how they operated. Now, I say that for the purpose of, if you're a site owner, whilst help's great, also be a little bit cautious, because you will find a lot of people offer and say they can do things that they actually can't do and aren't within their capabilities. And just be careful if you are a site owner, but also as a player, if you're offering something, just be honest with people. Honesty goes a lot further than if you was to turn up and say, oh yeah, I'm a carpenter, I've done this and this and this, and in actual fact you haven't, because all you're going to do is make a fool of yourself and give it out to the site owner. So just a PSA, in case anybody ever is thinking of it, something to keep in mind.
Brief pause. And we're back. So, like Sax just said, look, it's one of those things where, in an ideal world, if you're getting people up to help as a site owner, if they say they're a joiner, you've got to micromanage a bit. Don't expect people to do everything for you. Make sure you're there and present. Make sure any structures you're getting done, anything like that, are up to spec with safety. You can't just expect an old pallet wall with nails sticking out, because I've seen it several sites where you go to a site, there's a pallet wall, and all people have done is found an old pallet, lent it up, there's fucking nails and screws sticking out of it, and you just think some poor kid's going to cut themselves on that.
I think the thing about that as well, if I go to a site, and I don't know how you feel about this, Jordan, but like, if I go to a site and I turn up at your site and it's just a bunch of randomly dug holes in the ground and bits of logs that you've stacked on top of each other and a couple of pallets, to me, what that screams is cash grab.
Yeah.
That screams you aren't willing to even attempt to do something half decent for the players. So you're not really in it for the love of the hobby. Again, it's a hobby sport. No one gets into this to make millions.
Yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate, as like I started Nemtac on basically nothing. You know, it's not a lot of money. And most airsoft sites, if you're a relatively new one, you're going to have to start on a very small budget. So, by all means, start your site with that. Pay your debts, whatever you've had to take on to get a business, whatever it might be. But as soon as you've got spare cash, make sure you pump it back into that business, reinvest, because it's just, there's so many sites where I've seen people buy it, paid the money off, you know, they're all square, and then they just start taking the money out and letting the site deteriorate. And then the player base, they'll get the regulars.
Yeah.
But it will start to taper off, because the people who just visit will go, well, that was okay. Yeah, we'll not go back there.
Not really a benefit to returning.
Again, autistically popping back to the start of Airsoft, this is where that cultishness begins. You will have sites in England, and I'm not naming sites because I'm not trying to shit on anyone directly. I wouldn't try and hurt someone's business. Everyone's trying to earn a living. We all got to make that bread. But this cultish behaviour of this is our site, we play here, we're the regulars, we get favoritised treatment doesn't work because all you end up doing is driving away other people that will come and spend money there and actually help to grow and make that site better. As airsofters, we all need to learn to be a lot better at coalescing together, because if we don't, they will divide and conquer us. That is what will happen.
It's not that, it naturally winds itself down. I've been to several sites before where you go and you can tell there's the group of regulars who won't converse with the paws,
anyone else,
it's the old boys or
the rentals
or whatever, and what it ends up doing, it puts you off returning to the site. And as a business owner, you want to try and avoid that. This is one of the main reasons I set up Kingdom Clash, the event we do, because I wanted a networking event where people socialise, and it's not just like NAF where it's a gigantic piss up and shit gameplay, pardon my French, but it's the gameplay at NAF is not renowned for being good.
No, don't get me wrong, there are good parts of it.
We went to NAF this year, it was I really enjoyed it, but I didn't play. I booked on with one of my mates who paid to play, and then I just camped because that's all I went for, was to network.
Was that who used that 45 that you built me that worked great, and then you gave it to me, and within 2 minutes I broke it catastrophically?
Nature of the beast. It's always, every time you build something, you go, that works great, you give it the customer and something happens, you go,
it's me toddling back 2 minutes later, Courtney, I've broken it.
But that was just nature of the beast, Chinese in gears. But it's what I'm trying to do with Clash, going back to trying to bring people together, is one of the games we're on about doing is we select random teams of 5. So even if you come as a big joint team, you're getting randomly selected as a team of 5 because it's going to force that people to chat to each other.
It takes what the shooting comp was and amplifies it to a greater aptitude.
We'll not go into it too much because I'm saving that for a podcast we're doing with BT. I'm going to go over go over in detail.
I've got quite a fantastic ringleader outfit sorted out for that one. So lots and lots of pleather.
Oh God. Yes. Anyway.
Fuck. Cowboy hats, chains, the full regalia. So.
Oh, it's going to be like Mad Max but with autism.
You're afraid to get wet.
Anyway.
Playing Pink Pony Club for that one.
No. Anyway, back on topic. So to round off that, site reviews. 6 sounds like it's worth a visit. I'm yet to visit. I'll probably go in the new year when the weather gets a bit better, because I like to make a good excuse to not play in the rain. But I am busy at work, which is fine, because to be fair, I am.
Fair weather airsoft that.
I'm fine with it. I've got a cold from just being outside once. So, Is
that big Jewish?
You have a really bad immune system, don't you?
Oh God, yeah.
You also as a child.
It's a tech thing. You have to be really ill all the time, caffeinated and nicotine up to the balls in order to exist.
Any job, really.
Yeah. Insert AIDS advert. So
you know what AIDS stands for? Highly rejected death sentence. It's the acronym.
God, this has gone off the rails already. Right. Now, the one thing I wanted to go over is, I keep seeing some sites do it. I've seen other people on YouTube mention it, rightly so. Is if you're a site owner or if you're a player that's attending a site and they chrono on 2s, tell them no. If you have a site that chronos on 0.2 gram BBs, you're doing the wrong fucking thing. Pardon me French.
For 100%. Because
when I build a rifle, I never build one with a 0.2 gram BB in mind.
No.
So, like I built your M14, and I think we were on 3.2s on that. 3.2s. So I did everything about that build to suit 0.32 gram BBs. So it's volumed correctly. The FPS is correct on a 3.2. The joules are correct on a 3.2, with the hops set appropriately. If I then have to chrono your M14 on a 0.2 and I wind the... Because if you're on a chrono station, you should make sure the hops are set appropriately. It should be nice and flat, exactly how it should be. Now, if I wind the hop off to suit a 0.2, it's more than likely going to be hot.
Yes.
So that is one thing that's boiling my piss, for lack of a better term, is sites are still doing that. Now, do we know of any sites locally that still do it?
Yes.
So, yeah.
So we had that with my MCX, if you remember, at Skirmish, where they were chrono on 0.2s. And
see, when I went to skirmish, they didn't chrono us on 2s. But is that because just on that particular day?
I'm not sure. It was my first time visiting, and it was that exact situation that you're saying, because you were next to me at the time, I think.
Oh, it's been a while.
And it was, again, my hop was set correctly, and it was like 3 FPS over. But then just adjust the hop, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that just makes the whole thing.
See, now I've also witnessed at 6mm. So what 6mm do is the correct way of doing it. Not to keep harping on at 6mm, although I do can love it there. They will chrono you on your weight, and then they will do you on a dual limit. So if it's, I believe a 2.8's 275 or 280 or something like that.
Oh, it's anyway. A 2.8 is 295. Don't quote me, I've got a cold and I've got a horrendous brain fog, but it should be about 295.
So 295 and a 2.8. A young man came up to the chrono station. Had been chronoed, was just talking to one of the staff and was about to walk away, and he shot hot, and he said, "Oh, I'll just turn the hop up off, and it'll shoot under." And all respect to the staff there, they turned around and went, "Not a chance. That is cheating the system, and that's not okay. You can go and try a different weight BBs and see if it comes into the dual limit then, but you cannot use that weight in that gun on this field."
Yeah, it's about being sensible. I mean, it's like I've said to all my customers before and whatnot is, before you go to the chrono and waste the guy on the chrono queue's time, set your hop.
Yeah.
Because if you're used to playing at CQB and you haven't set your hop in 6 months, the likelihood is it's probably off. More than likely off or near off. So go and set your hop, make sure it's appropriate and ready to go so you're not wasting people's time and everyone's going to have a better day.
Even something like temperature can affect hop performance. So when it comes to the 60 degree, 70 degree, 80, all that right, that is what temperature that hot rubber is designed to perform optimally
Actually, no,
in, is it not?
No, not quite.
No.
So with a hot rubber, you've got in a rubber, you've got something called a shore hardness factor. Now that's how strong the rubber is, how stiff it is. So the higher the number, the stiffer the rubber. So if you're building a DMR, so normally with an AG you go for a 60 degree hot rubber. So 60 degrees about right for a 2.832, etc. At about your standard 350 set. With a DMR, you want to go a bit of a harder hot rubber. Now, what that'll do is you can apply less pressure, but it'll get backspin more efficiently. But the trade-off is the harder the hot rubber, the less consistent the air seal is going to be. Not on a major, but you're talking incremental stuff. You fine-tuning. Now, you are right in what you're saying.
So the way it was explained to me was it was the temperature thing.
It's good to have conversations like this because you learn as you go.
Yeah, temperature does affect it.
Temperature can affect it. Can, that's the key word. So extreme cold, so if you're playing in the middle of winter and your hot rubber is fucking freezing and it's not a rubber that can handle cold, the shore hardness will actually increase. So what that might do is, when you come to set use your gun, your hop might be actually a little bit more on than it should be, because the rubber's harder, everything's a little more stiff, you might have to adjust your hop. Normally that's why they say put a few rounds through the gun, and what that'll do,
warms up the rubber.
It'll warm up the rubber a little bit with friction. Yes. Now, another thing that can happen is if it's really hot, obviously we're talking extremes, it's not going to be the difference between 3 and 4 degrees. Middle of summer, middle of winter. Obviously, if it's a baking hot day and you've got a soft hot rubber, it's going to get slightly softer, slightly.
Yeah, and grip a bit more.
So you might find you're talking incremental amounts of difference. It's not enough to make a major difference. But it's, from a tech perspective, that's how it is. So we're going to take a brief break. We're going to pause it and we'll be right back. So, getting back on topic, one thing I wanted to go over, because people have asked me this question multiple times and I'll get your opinion as well. HBA versus AEG versus GBBR. What are your thoughts? Because you've ran GBBR and AEG, haven't you?
Yes, so I primarily have run AEG, but I am sort of making the switch to GBB at the minute, and I've even said to Jax the past couple of weeks, I'm getting quite in the GBB market now, and I want to expand on that. I've probably got, 10 games worth of use out of GBB. I've most recently invested in Elliot's old MP7. Cracking. I love them. It's the realism, it's the immersion that you get from a GBB, which just tips me over the edge.
Yeah.
It just, you know...
It's the peak fun for you.
Yeah, it crosses the T's, dots the I's. It's... Yeah, I mean, I'm all about the Milsim, the realism. You know, I'm not a speed softer. I chose the Milsim side, and that's my preference. And GBB, just it's the cherry on top for me. You know, the realism, the sound, the feel.
How do you find it performance-wise?
That can be difficult. Obviously, it's weather dependent. You know, temperature dependent. Depends on what gas you're using. Map, green. Red,
There's a lot
black.
more to think about.
There's a lot of variables, which is why a lot of people don't go for gas. So I wouldn't recommend going straight out of, you know, I'm getting into airsoft, I'm going to go buy a gas gun. Don't do that.
No.
You know, once you've got a couple of years' experience behind you, by all means, go and try a gas gun out. Pick up a cheap gas gun. They're not really that expensive. I mean, £300 to £400, you can get a very good off-the-shelf GBBR, whether it's an SMG or an M4, and they'll work. You want them to work all year round? Bit more difficult. I mean, you've got your MPAS systems for, you know, your valve adjustment. So it depends on what gas you're running. If you want to stick with red gas all year round, sound, but you need to adjust your MPAS to accommodate the pressure.
I mean, it's going to come with a different price point as well, I imagine.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can buy a whole new MPAS nozzle set for like 50, 60 quid.
But I mean, the getting into it, the base guns are going to be a little more expensive. It's more of a premium style rifle.
You can go in and buy a starter off-the-shelf M4 with a basic set for 200 quid, and that will run you a good year or two out of use before you choose to upgrade or upgrade the gun itself.
Yeah.
But with gas, it's straight off the bat you're spending a bit more than the average AEG, if not double. And then you've got your mag cost. You're spending between £40 and £80 a mag, and realistically, with a gas gun running 30 round mags, you'd want 6, 7, 8 mags.
Yeah, which is the weight as well.
Yeah.
So your sort of AEG backup, GBBR primary at the minute.
Yes.
Is it going to be dependent on what sites you're going to? Whether you play Milsim or skirmish?
I don't know if it's just me. I just feel like you can achieve a bit more range out of a well-tuned AEG than a GBB.
Well, yeah, you've got a lot more going on inside of a GBB where, you know, there's bolts travelling back and forth.
Yeah.
There's more
Bolt
going
mounts, there's a million different things.
Variables and whether you've got cool down in the nozzle, all sorts of weird and wonderful shit. Now, an AEG is going to be a bit more consistent. So, what are your thoughts on the subject? So, do you have more GBB than AEG now? Or
I have always had more AEG than I have GBB, but I have always had GBBs as well. So the GBB that I currently have now and have had for about 2 years is my VFC version 3 Scar H, and it is the tits when it works. The thing about gas blowbacks, as Jord said, they can be temperamental, and if you don't really know what you're doing for a new player to get into a gas blowback, it's very daunting. There's a lot of little niche things, even down to the maintenance of them. I mean, I clean my gas blowbacks rifles every 2 games, every 2 skirmishes. Some people say that's too much, some people say that's probably not enough. But for me, it's that maintenance side of it. It's the low ammo capacity. It's that felt recoil. It's the trigger feel. It's the like. I don't know how you feel about this, Jord, but I love nothing more than playing with a gas gun and encountering a malfunction and having to do a manual of arms to clear that malfunction and get back in a fight.
And you get back on your target, you're like, that was.
It's visceral.
That was cool.
Yeah. You feel like you're about 35 foot tall. It's amazing. It's like the best feeling ever.
No, fuck that. Give me an AEG and a high cap. No malfunctions.
High cap, yeah.
I mean, I recently ran your gas foul.
That was fun, yeah.
And let me tell you something right now. I was not hard for 12 hours.
I do like the gas foul. I mean, I've always been primarily AEG because I'm obviously a tech for AEG. It's what I do. Gas isn't really, from a tech's perspective, gas is pointless. I know there's people out there who specialise in teching gas guns. That's what they do. But the way I look at gas is if you own a gas gun, you should be able to maintain your own shit. You have to maintain your own shit. If you're having to send it off for maintenance, These things need maintenance minimum every second game, minimum, in my opinion. Especially if you play at a dusty site, yeah.
In the summer, every other game, because whether you think it or not, because it's a lot drier and there's a lot more particularised dirt in the air, because you're putting lubricant on moving parts, those moving parts will attract dust and grit and grime, and that is what will stop your riff working.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want everything to be sanded down by dirt.
Yeah.
Cut and paste on slides.
What was it? Polishing compound.
Don't even start with the cut and paste on slides of pistols. I can't even.
So all what you do is you buy a Numerex Glock 19, yeah, out of the box.
No,
Great.
Waytech.
And then it just doesn't work, so I give it to you to fix it.
Every time, yeah. So every 3 weeks I've now got his handgun fixing it.
Yes.
Because instead of buying a WE that works great,
I wanted something with trades and look cool.
Yeah, you just thought you'd be autistic.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
so I spent £212 on a handgun, and awful. Out of the box, performance awful.
Yeah.
Hop awful.
Not good.
Like gas capacity
bad.
awful.
Bad, yeah.
Your WE.
Airsoft. Some sort of people go, but the thing doesn't work.
Jack's
Airsoft.
WE outperforms and outworks my really expensive licensed Glock, and I'm quite salty about it.
Yeah,
Sounds like you're paying for the licensing on that.
Yes, but that's
now,
that's me.
One thing we've not given a fair shake is HPA. Now we've got to go over the positives, then followed by the negatives. Obviously, for me, there's more negatives than positives, but obviously it's my bias on it. So what I'm going to do is give an overview and answer the question, because people always ask me, what should I go for, HPA, AEG, gas blowback, and they always get a bit confused, they go down rabbit holes. So this is how I view things from a stepping back and looking at it. HPA, its benefits are the following. It's consistent. Once you've set it up, it's consistent.
Yeah.
It's quiet, so if you're a ghillie sniper, something like that, ideal. And it's pretty accurate, assuming you've got a non-blowback thing, and it's, you think MTW with a few upgrades. Pretty pinpoint.
Yeah. Wolverines, there's that mechanical system's really good.
Yeah.
What are they called now?
But because you've asked me, I forgot.
Brooks here from Tropic Thunder's got one, Kythera, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's visceral. You can actually get a trigger pull on those, it's great.
Yes. Now, that you can spend more money on them to get them to have a bit more feedback is the best way I can describe it. Now, the way I sort of step back and look at these 3 different systems you can choose from, being HPA, AEG, GBBR, is there's one extreme, then there's the other. So if we were to step back and look at them purely from a base level perspective, a standard HPA gun out the box, so say a Wolverine, it's got no soul. That's the best way I can describe it. It's the best way I can describe it.
It's £1,000 worth of no soul.
Yeah, there's no soul, because you pull the trigger, nothing happens, just a pop, 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 pop. A very quiet pop, does the job, well done, you've done an airsoft.
You've done an airsoft.
It's very much the electric car of airsoft is what it is. It's just meh. But that's for us, you know, that's
it's personal preference. Different people, different strokes for different folks, that sort of thing, that's fine. But for me, it's got no soul. There's not enough feedback. You can get blowback systems, that sort of thing. You can convert to GBBR. There's little rabbit holes you can go down.
MTW have released that new stock system that has a recoil weight inside of it.
Yeah. Now, the issue you're going to have with all these different systems is you're going to make that HPA gun more inefficient, and the whole point of the HPA system is it's efficient, and you don't want to have to change your tank. Now, the negatives of the HPA are, like I said before, there's no soul for me. There's no feedback, so it's all just touchscreen style levels of sensitivity, and just a pop, BB goes out, does its thing. It's fine, but it's not for me. You look like Scuba Steve. You've got a tank.
For me, that's the biggest. One of the biggest points of it is that woodland scuba diving. To me, it looks ridiculous. You look like a bit clownish, to be honest. Now,
to put it in the most, to drill down on it for me, I play airsoft personally because I like the look of certain things. Like, I want to get an AK that's all decked out and looks the part. I want to get an M4 that's a particular look. And the minute you get a line running out the bottom of it, it ruins the aesthetic for me. And it's another step closer towards this isn't an imitation of a look or whatever it might be. Now, not only that, you're tethered to your gun. No, don't get me wrong. There's exceptions. You get the ones with the stocks, where there's got a big.
That's right. The stocks are great. Yeah.
They're okay,
Well,
but they're bigger than a normal stock. You can get the CO2 conversions, but then you're almost at GBBR levels of efficiency ish. There's trade-offs. So for me, HPA is all about performance, not about the look or the soul of how the gun.
Yeah. No, so from a purely engineering. If you look at them from a purely engineering basis, HPA is the one that makes the most sense, right? It's incredibly tunable, it's lightweight, it's efficient, it's very reliable, it's fantastic from all those points of view. From an engineering standpoint, an AEG, you're talking about a lot of interfaces, a lot of parts that have got to work together, gears that have got to mesh, a lot more tuning. If you look at a gas blowback, it's essentially a diesel. It's dirty, it's loud, it's inefficient, but man, is it fun to roll coal.
It's one of those, it's the extremes. So, HPA, efficient, no soul. Yes. So we'll go to AEG. Now for me, obviously that's the middle ground.
Yeah, I would personally say that.
And out the box, well. AEG is going to be the worst performing of the three. Arguably, depending, but let's say if you've got a budget of £200, it's going to just work and it's going to sound a bit zappy. That's most people's experiences. That's pretty much it. 7.4 proper, just typewriter, fucking sewing machine sort of noise, that sort of thing. Now, obviously, you've got your extremes of that. So your AEG is going to be your pick up and play gun. It's the one thing you can rely on in all weathers.
It's a great way in. What it is.
Yeah. It's an easy entry for most people, and once you start to go to the high end of AEG, because HPA is sort of at a level where you can't make many more improvements, but AEG, there's lots of room for improvement. Technology's moved on so vastly now that it's on a par, performance-wise at range, it's on a par with HPA. It's never going to be as quiet because it's a mechanical system. No. It's bloody close.
But also, that mechanical system gives it the soul.
Yeah, it gives it soul. Now, you can get electric blowback, but what I'm not going to do is use that as a way to say it's got more soul. A standard AG, let's say the AK on the bench, this is Elliot's AK. It's a brushless build with a nice MOSFET and a clicky trigger. So it's got a real field trigger system, and it's incredibly snappy because of that brushless motor.
It's absolute piss missiles.
And it's very efficient on a 3.2. Range is the same as most HPA guns. Now, for that, it's the same price per entry, so HPA is more expensive than AEG out the box. AEG, once you've upgraded it, isn't a million miles off that price point.
I'd say equal.
But it's arguably the same once you've fully upgraded it. But there's more feedback in your hands. You can feel the internals moving, you can feel how the gun's working, you've got the motor in your hand. There's no heat from a brushless motor. For me, there's more soul in that build.
Yes.
But it's still not as much soul as a GBBR.
No.
So HPA, very little soul to the gun. AEG, a little bit. And then we've got the GBBR, which is the most. Now, a GBBR being the most soul out of the group comes with its drawbacks. So obviously there's price to entry from an M4. So you can buy a Cyma M4 AEG for a couple £100. HPA, you've got the price point, but also HPA, you've got that price point. Now, the GBBR's the higher price point, but the GBBR, yes, it's high price, but the realism's there. You've got the mag reload, you've got to rack the gun, all that sort of thing. So there's so much soul in that. There's lots more soul in that platform, but
you pay for it.
Comes with its drawbacks. You pay for it. The weight's there with the mags and all that sort of stuff, and the reloads are there. Now, if you've got Timmy the Rental with a G36 and a 300 round high cap, and then you with your MP7 with however many rounds the mags take, about 30-ish.
30, 40.
42,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Timmy the Rental, if he's got an even playing field, he's going to push your shit in dead hard because he's got 300 rounds of auto.
He can just...
I'll say this, not necessarily.
No, but you work at a disadvantage. But you accept that disadvantage because you're after the experience of the rifle and the soul of how it works, rather than pure practicality. So that's my thoughts on the subject. So GBBR, the most soul, few impracticalities, but you can live with it. If you're willing to play like that, you can live with it. AEG's the pick up and play. I always recommend people at minimum have one AEG that's well maintained. It's going to be that one that no matter the weather, it's going to work. GBBR, cold weather, they don't like it, essentially. There's exceptions to every rule, but generally. HPA, high price point entry. You look like Scuba Steve. It's not my cup of tea, there's less sold, but it's going to work in all weathers. Same with now the AEG's the happy middle ground. So what would you say on that? Are you pretty much in agreement, or do you prefer certain platforms for certain reasons?
It's entirely dependent on
site
situation.
dependent, weather dependent. There's a lot of variables that come with all of it. I mean, a site like Optac, all forestry, you do get a lot of like gillies that are attracted to the site because of the site, you know how it is. So realistically, from that site point of view, HPA would work better at Optac. If you came to Optac and you thought, what would work well if you've got both.
Yeah, if you're a ghillie player, HPA is the way to go.
HPA, that will work for you. I mean, you can even get the HPA bolts for the bolt actions.
I mean, with a good quality bolt, obviously we miss Springer from this list because we're talking things with auto, really.
Yeah.
But if you're a sniper, and you don't want to run bolty, then if you're a DMR or anything like that, or HPA for the automatic side of it, I'd recommend.
But CQB sites, I mean, I couldn't recommend more a GBB on a CQB site. Unreal.
You reckon?
You will not get a feeling like it.
CQB with the gas blower back, the sound, the feedback, the reloads, the limited ammunition. It just takes the experience.
You peek a corner, mate, and there's a guy sat there, and you pull the trigger, and it's just dead man's click, and you're like,
oh yeah.
We're talking fun factor over practicality. So if we went practically speaking, I don't like them. I'll be completely clear. But the high capper boys have a point with CQB if they're doing the whole Spandau ballet full on.
Yeah, that makes. I have
and the mask
deep thoughts
and
about this.
The job lot. Then fair play. You're there for pure practicality. You do your thing, whatever floats your boat. If you want the fun experience, go GBBR. Go for the challenge of how you play.
Practicality was for me is the most practical platform for me is an AAG.
Yeah,
and you can argue and say gas, right? HPA, but HPA, what you're relying on there is either you bring your own air, which is a large scuba tank. There's a cost involved in that. There's getting it filled. There's places to get it filled. You have to get it safety checked every so often.
I think
a couple of years.
I might be mistaken. It's normally on the tank. It's when it's in test.
Yeah.
So there's all that because not everywhere does HPA refills. With an AEG, you charge that battery at home, you take the gun with you, you can have 5 batteries, as many mags as you would like, and you just plug it, and then you're playing, dude. You're having a good time. Practicality-wise, an AEG is the best platform, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Milsims and sort of themed days where there's a mag cap limit, I always recommend people, if they have the option, AEG or preferably a GBBR for a milsim, because I always find if there's a mag limit, you may as well roll with it and make the most of the fun.
I mean, if you're playing a milsim, you want immersion, and GBBs are providing that immersion and more.
Yeah. I ran the FAL at was it a battle sim? Technically a battle sim.
Yeah, it was a battle sim. It was scorched
still, mid caps only, and I thought, you know what, I'll run the FAL, and it was great fun because you're not running against people with high caps and full auto constantly, and it's more competitive. But I highly recommend if you get a chance to go do a GBBR only day, they're where they shine. That's where you have the most fun because you're playing against peers.
Disadvantaged the same.
Yeah.
You're not going to get magged up full auto because you don't have that ammo.
Speaking of that event, I tell you what I saw that worked really well there. Not necessarily a difference in platform, but a difference in setup of gun that sort of leads on from this subject. There's a fella called Call Sign Cowboy, and there's a fella called Call Sign Bugle. They come play Optac at the Sims quite often. They're on Instagram if you want to check them out. But one of them runs a DMR, a Mark 12 platform, I believe it is, the 308. The Marcus Luttrell gun. The other one runs a belt fed. Now, to see those two platforms work in concert is a beautiful thing. But that sort of lends itself into, if Jordan's going to run gas, I can run a belt fed or a standard AEG to back him up. You can account for the inadequacies of one platform by having a teammate with another platform.
Yeah.
And it still allows you to get that level of realism whilst maintaining an effectiveness on the field.
Yeah, keeping some level of practicality. But yeah, so in short, to answer the question of what platform should you get, when I get asked this question, I'll refer them to this video. If you want Soul, GBBR. If you want balance, AEG.
Yeah.
Everydayer, AEG. And if you want no soul but practicality, HPA. But I'm always going to recommend people get AEG.
Yeah.
Always. So that puts pay to that.
Especially built by Courtney. They are good soup.
No, I'm a shit tech. But anyway.
He's the best tech.
Anyway. Next subject. Safe handling in safe zones, things like that. So what would be the official term for it? It's
negligent discharges.
Negligent discharges and the such.
Oh God.
So we're going to take a brief pause. Be right back. And we're back. So next subject is safe handling of airsoft guns before you go into a safe zone, that sort of shit. And even when it's just quiet autistic noises in the background. But
do you want me to describe to you what's happening in the background right there?
You can't see it.
No. Before we get too off topic, I will keep this fucking train on its tracks.
It's become like a Louis Theroux documentary, isn't it?
What happens when you don't do basic safety shit like shooting people's cars by accident or you know, just naughty.
So
I think he should lead with this one,
and we figure out what causes these things to happen.
Let's get straight into it. Fuck it. So, a month or so ago, maybe we were at an event. And Saxy Poo here made a boo boo, which he's apologised for
profusely. Yeah,
naughty little sausage. Long story short, what happened?
So me and Jordan were looking at my Glock.
Well, you were showing it to the group.
And I was like, this trigger's really nice. Then pulled the trigger without thinking there's a mag in that and there's a round in the chamber.
Obviously, it doesn't need to be stated there shouldn't have been a mag in it at the time.
Yes, correct.
But mistakes happen.
Correct.
Now, we'll not keep going over it, but long story short, you put a small dent in one of our mates' cars, and it was, from an outside perspective, afterwards, fucking hilarious.
At the time, egregious.
For Brooksy, not so much, obviously.
Face.
Yeah.
Sad times.
Yeah.
But this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while because I'm going to go on to the max model hop unit. Now, there's a BB retention system in that.
Yeah, there is. I've got
is
one.
there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it keeps like 3 BBs in it.
In a max model hop unit, I don't fit them anymore purely because of that. Don't get me wrong, if a customer comes to me that has a max model hop unit already and it's not causing issues because the tolerances are too tight or whatever, that's fine. But I will go in there and remove the BB retention spring, or if it's got a clip, I can't do anything about it.
Stop holding that one.
Because far too often, when they first came out, you'd see people go in and they always go, "Oh, clear your mags before you go in the safe zone." You go pop, 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 but your rifle's upright and the BBs are still in the chamber. You turn the rifle upside down, that gun's now hot and probably got 3 rounds in it. Well, 3 BBs.
Ready to go, yeah.
Now, the same goes for pistols. If you're going into a safe zone, do your mag checks, that sort of thing.
Well, pistols or for any gas blowback, the way a gas blowback works is it uses a on the nozzle there's a tab that picks up a BB out the mag, allows it into the chamber. If you take that mag out, that's your propellant source. You can pull that trigger and there'll still be a round in the chamber that's held by the hop up. So if you reinsert even a mag with nothing in, you've now given it the power source.
Yeah.
And if you will rack that and pull the trigger out, you will discharge a round.
It's common sense shit. Don't put mags in the safe zone.
No.
But sometimes even if your mag isn't in, that shit could still be hot. Again,
Correct.
Going back to the max model hop unit, that sort of thing, anything with a BB retention system, or it could be anything. Now, this leads us nicely on to trigger discipline. Now, it's obviously something that's in real world stuff that's applicable. With airsoft, if you start yammering on about trigger discipline to your mates,
It's
you look
still
cringe.
applicable.
You look cringe.
But it's still
Oh, bro, where's your trigger discipline? You go, oh, fuck off, mate, it's airsoft. We're playing toy soldiers in the woods.
Yeah.
But you can still shoot marshals by accident.
That being said, trigger discipline is still very important to me.
Yeah.
Because There will be times and situations where you can be behind someone's eyebrow, depending on where that muzzle is, up or down, because the muzzle's got to go somewhere eventually, and you see this more often than not with big heavy guns, is that muzzle will start up there and it creeps down real slow until it's pointing right up against somebody's, like, underneath your glasses. So that trigger discipline matters.
It's important.
Can I just add something as well?
Yeah, sure.
I keep getting flagged by people. I feel like fucking 10 so fucking 13 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I've been shot in the thigh so many times because someone's just been like...
Yeah, this is something that I've come across this year, especially at multiple sites, where we'll be out there during the game brief, because most sites take you out there and they do a game brief just before the game starts, a skirmish, whatever it might be.
Everybody drops bags in.
Timmy the rental's ready to go. He's got his G36 all loaded up, and he goes, pop, into the person's next to him's leg, or into the marshal's leg, and it's fucking sore.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up. Literally earlier on today, me and Jackson were marshalling, and I was shot in the back of the kneecap by a rental on full auto.
Yeah.
And I now have a nice little cut on the back of my kneecap that has been slowly, like, just seeping a bit of blood.
It was when it... It was when it happened, and I turned and I just saw his face go from egregiously happy to be there to just turned, walked in the opposite direction, followed by the boy who shot him with his gun going, sorry, you can shoot me now.
He was proper
you can shoot me.
Like a prophet, like, you can shoot me.
Yeah, like bowing backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, so just one thing I felt it was necessary to go over during this podcast is trigger discipline. We've all done it. Even if you're an experienced airsoft, you could be out there.
It's
especially
worse,
with something like a gate tighten or a Perrin or anything where you can make a sensitive trigger with an AG specifically.
Well, it can happen with HPAs because you get these little hair brake triggers and stuff.
If you've got a hair trigger and your trigger discipline isn't on point, you can fucking hurt someone. So just be careful.
You can thwack it against a tree. And
I will say this. It's tremendously important whether you're a new airsoft or a seasoned airsoft. If you've been doing it for 20 years, I've been doing it 12 years and it happened to me because I got comfortable and complacent and I thought that I knew better and I didn't do the simple checks, and it could have led to someone that I love getting hurt really bad and I wouldn't have been able to live with myself.
No.
And that's what it comes down to. It's about looking after your mates and looking after yourself.
Yeah, you got to remember, especially in safe zones, people aren't walking around with iPro.
Yeah, I mean, it was lucky that we were quite secluded where we were anyway.
Yeah.
And we were like the only people there. So it was very lucky that it was just us and it was someone we know.
Yeah.
And lucky it didn't progress into anything more than
and it didn't hit anybody. That's the main thing. We can replace a car or a panel. We cannot replace somebody's eyes.
Well, not a rear quarter.
Well, not for $3,000, Jordan. No. We did price it up. Oh, I'm never gonna.
Just remember, if that incident ever happens to you where you've accidentally put a dent in a car, go to your local spray shop, support your local business. It's normally about £300 a panel.
Cut a tennis ball in, I'll pop it on and just...
I don't think it'll work for a BB.
No, yeah.
Can I just say that was some fantastic Jackie Chan shit right then, bro. That's the real Karate Kid over there, isn't it? I knew him from somewhere.
Be the Glaswegian martial arts to fuck you.
Anyway, so I think that pretty much rounds up the day. We've got one more subject to go over, which is attitude towards marshals. This is the final subject. Now, at this table now, we've all marshalled, and those of you who are watching, obviously put in the comments down below if you've had any bad experience, whatever it might be, but this is more for the players. We're obviously going to go into the subject of how marshals should behave a little bit. Now, this isn't us dictating how things should work, but this is just our experiences, what we've seen, that sort of thing. Have you ever come across a shitty player who just won't accept they've done something wrong?
You go first.
As a marshal.
You're the newest to the marshalling thing, you might as well go first.
Taking iPro off, I think, is quite a common one that, your newer players, your rentals, do it without realising that they've even done it.
Yeah.
Or, I saw someone earlier on and they literally lifted their iPro off to have a drink out of like an old US style canteen.
Yeah.
And they were wearing a full face mask, like single piece.
So that came
and
up.
literally lifted, and I could see their eyes, and I'm surrounded by 30 people with wrists that are hot.
This is shortly before he was negligently discharged into as well.
And you look at them, they look at you, and you sort of keep it on, do not take it off. And it's almost like resistance, like, I didn't lift it that high. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You
There's always an
need
excuse.
to accept. Look, at the end of the day, you did it. It happened. Just don't do it again for your sake.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time that them trying to make excuses for doing that, especially in their players, comes out of an embarrassment. And it's not that we're telling you to keep your eye on to embarrass you. We're doing it to keep you safe.
Yeah, we get it that everyone probably will
We all
turn
make
around and
mistakes.
look at the guy that's just taken his iPro off, but we're not doing it to embarrass anyone. It is simply
it's just purely
for
a safety aspect.
their sake.
What about you, Courtney? Have you ever encountered a shitty behaviour player?
Encountered all sorts of shit. So obviously we ran Kingdom Clash 1. I was marshalling there. I've always been a marshalling at the site. It tends to be when I become a regular at a site, I end up being a marshal by chance because I always offer to help. And you see all sorts of shit. Now, from my perspective, when I was marshalling, is the trick is I've always noticed is don't be a cocky twat. I've gone to far too many sites where the marshals think they are hot shit, and they think they can, talk down to you and be condescending. And the best thing you can be is kind, but straightforward with what you want. And if someone's doing something wrong, walk close up to them and say, "Look, this is wrong." You don't need to shout it across the field and make it a spectacle. Go up to them, say, "Look, lad, you can't be doing that. Just these are the rules. You know to follow them. If there's any further problems, we'll escalate it then." But there's far too often I've seen people, especially like other marshals on sites, which I'm not going to name, where if there's a hit-taking issue, they won't pull those particular players that they think's happening to one side. They will lecture the entire site. And the issue I have with that sort of behaviour and that sort of mindset,
It happened at the game that we were at, remember?
It spreads like
wildfire.
Because if you hear one person go, "Oh, such and such isn't taking his hits," and they go, "Oh yeah, well I saw this," and then it just starts escalating, and more often than not there might have been one player who wasn't taking a hit.
It's just Chinese whispers, and by the end of it everyone's complaining
fucking
about
pissing
something that
me
didn't
off.
happen.
So as a marshal, if you ever come across a non-hit taker, the
quite
marshal hit thing for me is important. So what at our old local, which is MIA, highly recommend people check it out. It's a good little local site for us. Is a lot of the marshals will carry something like a Mark 23. And if they had a report of someone not taking the hits, they get a description more than just
do a hit check.
The guy in camo by the tree. They get a very good description. Try and get them pointed out discreetly.
Quick thing to say. I'm gonna say it's real class, real good for you. The guy in multicam is not a good description of a player. I need more than that to go off because there's 40 lads on site who are all wearing multicam. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help any of the marshals. Please give me more details to go on.
Yes.
Thank you. If people wore nice camos, not just multicam.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I hate that all NATO camos are now multicam. I mean, look what they took from us. Remember Belgian Jigsaw? Phenomenal.
But anyway,
Alpenflage. Itchy Balba.
But going back to the whole thing of the Mark 23 thing is, as a marshal, there's nothing stopping you. If people are in the middle of gameplay, someone's got the back to you, 40 yards away, whatever it might be, you can just do a marshal check, which is something that MIA do, and I think it's a very good thing for sites to do. Now, people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that," but I think it's important because
I think it's good.
You can pull out the Mark 23 or something quiet and discreet and just go, pop, shoot the bloke. If they don't take the hit, you know damn well they're cheating. You've caught them dead to rights. There's no arguments about it. It's done. If they do take the hit, you can just go up to them and say, "It's all right, mate. Just marshal check." And at the start of the day, you can just say, or the minute there's a hit taking issue, you can say, just to let everyone know we're doing marshal hits. It's going to be random, so don't be offended if you get marshal hit. But we're just trying to implement it to make sure everyone's playing nice and fair, and it just gets it all above board. Something like that is so important at most sites that I see sites not doing. What have you seen in the past as a marshal? How should people be? The etiquette towards it. Sort of
you just the war meme, the guys staring into the
into the abyss.
That's you right
God,
now.
the things
You've
that I've
seen some
things
stuff.
I've seen.
Yeah.
So I get less problems from new players than I do from seasoned players, and it's because people seem to play a few years and build this attitude of "I know better." Now, the thing with marshalling is I am that site owner's authority my presence is the authority of the site owner. I am there to make sure that you play by the rules, that everybody stays safe, and that ultimately we all adhere to the insurance policy. That is really, the insurance dictates that sites must have marshals. That's what it's there for. So now, if you're a seasoned player and I come up to you and say for example, I get a lot of it with rate of fire. Some players will be using HPAs that are set to the max RPS of the site, and they will be housing folks. There's no need for things like that, and you'll just say to them, tone down your rate of fire for me please if you can, just short bursts, or click it on semi-auto, and they look at you as if you've just slapped their nan. And it's not that at all. What I'm trying to do in those situations, or any marshal is to make sure everybody has fun. It's not just about you, it's about the other 40 people that are on site as well. Mm-hmm. No marshal goes out to marshal to ruin your day. The only person that can ruin your day is yourself. Just keep that in mind when dealing with marshals. We're all humans. We all have bad days. We all make bad calls. But just be patient and understand that as a marshal, you are at times under a lot of pressure. And that pressure manifests differently with different people. But as far as... Generally, I find people are quite good people. I find most people are decent people. And the odd occasion that you do get a bad apple, the player base tends to root them out pretty quickly. And as marshals, we know that you're doing it. We see everything. You know what I mean? Don't think you're getting away with the thing, because I guarantee you 10 other people have told us and we know it's happening. But... you know, generally speaking, I think people treat marshals quite well. Just a little bit more respect and a little bit of understanding is all I think that it needs.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to be for everyone to be cool. I've had it before. It's stuck in my memory quite a bit where I was on site one day. There was a bunch of lads there, all stereotypical, should I say, HPA players, where they've cranked their rate of fire up to the max. They've all got drum mags, making a bad name for themselves.
They're all using 4 tanks of air a day.
There's 2 approaches you can go at that with, where they are overkilling people. They are. There's no doubt about it, they are overkilling people. And as a marshal, you've got 2 approaches. Especially as a site owner, you could go, right, there's a limit on rate of fire. Which means the people who have a high rate of fire build but use semi, which is their prerogative, can't use that rifle on site. Which is a bit shit for them. Or you can just go up to that one particular person and go, mate, I'm locking you to semi for the next 2 games because you are overkilling people. I've had several complaints and I've seen it myself. You are now locked to semi. If I see you using auto, you're back in the safe zone. Yeah. Now, I literally witnessed a bloke get into a deep conversation about why there shouldn't be a rate of fire limit on a site because he wants to overkill people with it. And the marshal who he was talking to wasn't blunt enough to say, sorry mate, they're the rules. Mm. He ended up going to a conversation with this bloke, and I'm not lying, he literally said, well, the marshal said, well, there's a speed limit on the road for a reason. A reasonable retort. Shouldn't have got that far. Greg remembers. Yes, the player was a dickhead. But...
what, Chris Anthem?
Anyway, you've just thrown me off.
Beautiful flavours, yeah.
Now, he was acting a right dickhead, but the marshal was too polite to say, you're acting a knob, stop, or you're being sent out. Yeah. So he ended up getting to this conversation with the marshal going, well, I don't agree, there should be speed limits on the road. And I was stood there as like another marshal, just stood back going, the fuck am I watching? And I watched the site owner go over to him and go, no mate, you're locked to semi, if you don't like it, go home.
Yeah, and that's
all that was it. But as when you've been asked to marshal at any site, even if it's your own event or if it's your first day marshalling, you've got to get the things in your head that you need to enforce, and you need to be stern yet polite about it. If not, you end up going down a deep rabbit hole with people that you don't need to do.
It's a fine balance, though, because I do find a lot of the time I am probably more stern than I need to be. Whereas I would say Jordan at times is not as stern as he should be. But then there's that balance in the middle, isn't there? You know what I mean?
I've been on sites before where the marshalling's done perfectly because they have a bit of a system in place where they'll Yeah, they'll trial run a marshal, make sure they're happy with it, make sure they've got the ground rules in place, and if they find they're a bit too stern, they'll give them a word, etc.
I like a 15-minute break. Like, I've seen sites that go, if you're being a bit of a dick,
You're on time
go
out.
back safe zone, you're having 15 minutes out, mate. That's, you know...
It's if you are marshalling, and even if you've just been selected as a marshal, it's your first day marshalling, you see this. The best advice is, remember, you're representing a business who make money and a living off of this. So it's so important to make sure you do the absolute best you can to represent the site.
Stay
for what it is.
professional.
Yeah.
Be professional, be courteous, be polite. Everything the site wants to be and needs to be. So anyway, I'm fairly sure that's all the subjects for this evening.
Yeah. One more question, this is for the both of you. Do you think it is a normal behaviour to wear a different camouflage top and bottom, or do you think that's totally cool?
Depends on the camos. If you
what would be now for you?
MTP, or the British version of multicam, and
It's
then
just
multicam,
yeah.
You're just too close. It's normal behaviour, that shit.
Yeah. What would be a good example of this?
Alpenflage and M81.
Oh, nice.
I was going to say...
Desi Tiger Stripe and AOR1.
Oh, yes.
Or roadie shorts and a Hawaiian.
Yes.
KLMK and EMR.
Oh, yeah, very, very. I'll tell you what I have seen some of the people in Tropic doing lately that I think is fantastic. M81 Woodland and Multicam Black is a thing that I originally heard and recoiled within myself of shock, then saw it and thought, God, that is actually fitter than a chick on a stick.
DPM and Belgian Jigsaw.
I need to see more British DPM. Anyway,
Yeah, British DPM's based.
off that rabbit hole, I think that sums up today's podcast pretty well. I'm glad we're back in the studio. We're in the workshop. We've just got bed sheets up behind us.
There's actually a casting couch back there. That video comes next month. $7.99. You know the site.
So don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any thoughts on the subjects we've gone over today. The next episode is going to be with BT. We're going to be going over Kingdom Clash 2 and the itinerary for the event and what we're going to be doing. Should be a good one, so keep yourself excited for that and look out for that on the social media. And I'll speak to you all soon.
Yep.
Cheers, chaps. And we're back. So, it's Greg just quietly pooping in the corner. I swear to God, if that hits us and it fucking
That's
over.
the fart of an alpha male. That was tight. That
There's
was
nothing
clenched.
alpha about that. The smell of loneliness from across the room.
If it wasn't alpha, it'd be more of a, you know.
It smells like your size.
Oh, fuck off. Anyway. Well, it just shows his bum gently in the background.
Yeah.
Just a little brown bum.
Blacussy.
I think mine's a little brown after that.
Blussy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
We don't know if you're a Mossad agent yet, Jordan.
I'm not showing it you.
How else are we going to know?
Take my word for it.
What if we've been
Ask the
infiltrated?
Take my word for it.
And we're back.
It's like a fucking parrot got loose for all the 10 seconds. Shut the fuck up, fish. Listen here, smart boy.